Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Drawing with DJ. First off, I'd like to apologize for the gap in uploads. I got a new job recently and I've just been trying to figure out the schedule. Also, I've been hit with a little bit of writer's block too, so that's not really been helping. But enough of that. Y'all didn't come here to hear me apologize for 20 minutes. Y'all came here for drawing. And now for the topic of today's video, sidekicks and legacy characters. It was an eventful night in the now flooded streets of New Metro. Captain Bat and his sidekick Falcon Girl were bringing an apprehended crocodile to Ravenham Asylum. Falcon Girl let out a contagious yawn. "How are you not tired yet?" she asked Captain Bat. "Benefit of being Uncle Sam's lab rat. When I say I can do this all night, I mean it." "But I thought that serum wore off after your little vacation in the Arctic." "So did I, but it's gradually starting to come back. It's even returned to its full power in short bursts." "I guess that explains how you're able to pull a train underwater. So in that case, is it alright if I call it a night? I've been in this boat for hours." "Go ahead, I'll see you tomorrow." "Later," she exclaimed before flying home and going to bed. She wanted to sleep in, but her emergency bat signal started blaring at 5 a.m. "This better be important," she mumbled to herself before angrily suiting up and making her way to the Americave. Upon arrival, Bruce's butler, Arnold Pennyworth, was wielding a shotgun. "Oh, Miss Samantha, thank goodness you made it. I haven't been able to contact Master Bruce all day, and we have an intruder." The two made their way through the Americave, passing a trail of broken doors. Curiously, the path led up to Roger's manor. Eventually, they found their infiltrator, a small red-headed woman asleep in the kitchen. When she came to, she was tied to a chair in the Americave, in front of Arnold and Falcon Girl. "Okay, first of all, who are you? Second, why are you here? Third, how'd you find this place? And fourth, how'd you manage to get in?" "My name is Jenny. My uncle sent me. He told me that if he wasn't back in El Centro after 3 days, then to come here and find Captain Bat." "Well, he isn't here. And how did your uncle even know Cap?" "He came to El Centro to recruit him to some sort of team he was forming. That's all I really know." Falcon Girl turned to Arnold. "Damn, I was really hoping you knew where Bruce went." "About that." Arnold unmuted the TV on the other side of the Batcave. "Breaking news. The entirety of the New Metro City metropolitan area has been stolen. After a long battle with..." "Well, that answers that. I guess you went back to help Steelman and the cat guy." "Hey, Falcon Girl, why don't you just fly us up there, we find Captain Bat and my Uncle Barry, and then bounce?" "Listen, I'm flattered you think I can help you take on an entire team of supervillains who managed to steal an entire city, but we have to be realistic here. What if we had a team of our own?" "Composed of whom? All of Cat's buds are trapped in a flying city." "Not all of them," Arnold interjected. "Here's the address of some people who could aid you two on your journey." That's a couple states away, Arnie. I'm not sure my wings have enough juice for that kind of trip." Arnold then pulled a set of keys from his pocket and tossed them to Falcon Girl. But Cap never lets me." "Sometimes, Miss Gordon, it is better to ask for forgiveness than for permission." Falcon Girl excitedly grabbed Jenny by the arm and took her to the Americar. Yo, Falk, I'm still tied up," Jenny yelped. "Oh, yeah." She cut through Jenny's bitings with a burner ring, and then they both hopped in the Americar. They then made their way towards Niles Xavier's Institute for Outcast Youngsters. Okay, first off, I'd like to apologize for that bad British accent, which I feel like is somehow even more offensive than the one I did for Aqua Panther. But don't worry, though, there will definitely be more accents later in the video. Also, hope you guys don't mind, but this video is going to have 5 shorter stories instead of 4 longer ones, basically, so I can draw more, write less. Hope you guys don't mind. And Falcon Girl is obviously a fusion of Batgirl and Falcon. And some of you who've seen my first video, but somehow not my last one, you might be wondering why I'm using Falcon Girl and not Robbie. Don't worry, I will get to him later. And to those of you wondering who Robbie is, please go watch my first video. Please go watch it. Please go watch it. Please watch it. Design-wise, it was pretty easy to do. For the most part, I pretty much put Batgirl's color scheme over Falcon and made Falcon a girl. Although there are, some smaller differences, like I gave her like the white eyes, kind of like how she has, in like Batman 04, which you can see is like one of the references I was using. I also gave her a little F. Falcon's like weird F thing. I'm not really sure if that's supposed to be like feathers or literally like the letter F or some combination of the two, but I basically put that in like the middle of her chest where like a bat symbol would be. Also give her like pretty much like a simple utility belt, but yeah, it was also pretty fun to render. I really love rendering the color purple. I just think it looks really nice, and I've also had fun rendering the wings, kind of making them transparent. I don't know if it'll like show up in the video very well or not, but I don't know, it's something that like makes me happy. And without further ado, we have Captain Bat's loyal sidekick, Falcon Girl. Sam and Jenny made their way to X Manor. You know, you could have just knocked, right? Sam inquired. Sorry about that. I'm still getting used to these powers. Hey, listen, you were trying to help a family member in need. I probably wouldn't have been thinking super clearly either. I'm guessing the whole eating half our kitchen thing is also tied to these powers too, right? Like, yeah, they take a lot out of me. They kick my metabolism into overdrive. Sorry, I'll pay you guys back for all that later. Oh, don't worry about it. After Steelman got Cap back on his feet, he started his own tech company, and he's been well off since then. The two talked for hours before making it to a truck stop. Hey, Sam, can we stop somewhere, please? I, really gotta go. Sam pulled over to the next truck stop and let Jenny out. After a worrying amount of time, Jenny finally returned to the Americar. Geez, took you long enough, Sam exclaimed before driving off. Jenny then stumbled out of the restroom with numb legs to witness Falcon Girl leaving without her. Oh, now come on, I wasn't in there that long. She started to grow angry, but then quickly calmed herself down. I have found you, Mussa, someone cried out from behind her with a German accent. A teal monkey demon creature was sitting on the roof. I'm sorry, Jenny asked. Oh, don't play dumb with me, Madame Bleu. Jenny tried running, but the creature disappeared into a puff of smoke and reappeared in front of her as a teal Rottweiler. Hey, listen, I don't know who or what you are, but my friend and I are just trying to meet up with some old friends. The teal creature seemed to not believe her, then started growling. Hey man, you don't want to do this, Jenny warned. Jenny ran back into the building, but was stopped by a teal polar bear. She threw one of her shoes at his nose and then ran into the men's room. The beast teleported into the room as a cockroach and crawled along the ceiling to find the stall she was hiding in, but they were all empty. He teleported back into the floor as a rat and began to sniff out her trail, which led to an open window. He then poofed into an eagle in the sky and then found her hiding underneath an unhitched trailer. The night beast reappeared in his true form on top of the trailer. I told you, Massa, you and the Brotherhood are no match for us. And I told you to back off! The trailer slowly rose before getting launched into a nearby field. A giant green woman bolted towards him, and at this moment, he realized that she may have been telling the truth this whole time. Okay, yeah, sorry about the accents, but, I have 7 subscribers. I'm not spending money on a voice actor. Maybe later down the line, but, yeah, right now, yeah, it's just gonna be me doing all the voices. And speaking of accents, this character is obviously supposed to be a fusion of Nightcrawler and Beast Boy. Beast Boy, I went with because, I'm doing like a Teen Titans thing here. And, you can do, Beast Boy, Teen Titans without Beast Boy, but it wouldn't really be the same without him. And the reason I chose Nightcrawler for the other fusion instead of Young Avengers characters because in this universe I'm combining Doom Patrol with the X-Men. And, I decided to go with an X-Men character for the fusion, which Night Beast, because I thought it was most similar to Beast Boy, because they're both mostly a weird, non human color, Beast Boy being green, Nightcrawler being blue, so I can just meet them halfway in the middle and make them teal. Also kind of animalistic, Beast Boy's literally Beast Boy, he's animals is a soul power, and Nightcrawler, he has the weird 3 fingers on each hand, he's covered in fur, if you didn't know, although mine, he just has fur over most of them. And he also has a literal tail. So yeah, I felt like that was a pretty obvious way to go with it. And hopefully I got this through with the story, but in case you couldn't tell, he can only use his powers at the same time. He can't just teleport or just transform, which, I thought that would be a cool caveat, to having 2 pretty, overpowered powers. So yeah. And without further ado, we have Night Beast. Falcon Girl and Jenny left the truck stop and headed back towards X Manor. After about half an hour, Jenny noticed something weird in the side view mirror. A motorcyclist with strange yellow armor was tailing them. Hey, Eagle Girl, maybe we should let this biker pass us. I have a bad feeling about her. I think she might be in a gang or something. As Sam moved to the outer lane, the biker followed them. Then Sam floored it, and then so did the biker. Oh yeah, we'll try to keep up with this, Falcon Girl exclaimed as she activated the giant thruster on the back of the Americar. The mysterious figure then sprouted 2 jet thrusters from her own shoulders, allowing her to keep up with them. And of course you can do whatever that is, Falcon Girl said while flipping one of the many switches on the Americar's control panel. An automated turret emerged from the roof of the vehicle and started launching a barrage of Starkins at the pursuer, who managed to dodge them by swerving into oncoming traffic. She then shifted her right arm into some sort of cannon. As the pursuer charged her shot, Jenny found Captain Bat's remote electrical charge gun in the back seat and fired a blast right into the biker's cannon. The surge of electricity caused her arm to spasm, making her shoot a sonic blast into an upcoming gantry. Falcon Girl then used a fallen road sign as a ramp and made it into the oncoming lane. Now that she was right behind the mystery pursuer, she pushed the Americar's turbo boost to its limits and rammed into the motorcycle. As the mysterious figure was knocked off of her bike, her helmet flew off, revealing a face that was half human, half machine. She then extended metal claws from her hands and feet to stick into the Americar's vibrocalcum alloy hood. She attempted to lunge her claws at Jenny through the windshield, but Jenny managed to duck through the floorboards. Falcon Girl then slammed on the brakes, causing Clawborg to get launched into the air and hit a semi-truck, shattering into many pieces. Okay, now hurry up and let's get out of here before she pulls herself back together, Jenny frantically yelled. Falcon Girl instead pulled over to the side of the road. Hey Jen, how do you know she can do that? Who cares? Let's get out of here before she shreds us to pieces, Eagle Girl. It's Falcon Girl. Also, didn't you tell me earlier that your powers kick in during stressful situations? Where are they now? Well, you know as well as I do that in these situations, they just become part of life after doing this hero stuff for so long, Yeah, you told me you got your powers only a couple months ago earlier? And on top of that, the cyborg seems to only be coming after you. Jenny then kicked Sam in the jaw and swiped a spare utility belt from the back seat. As the imposter saw Clawborg approaching in the distance, she shifted into Falcon Girl. The two began fighting and appeared to be evenly matched in hand-to-hand combat. Clawborg shambled her way towards the two of them, reattaching her lost appendages on the way. She tried sniffing out which one was the real Madame Bleu, but she couldn't tell because they had gotten each other's scents all over each other. She then raised a sonic cannon from each arm at each Falcon Girl. Alright, Bubs. If you two can't convince me which one of you is the real Madame Bleu, like real fast, I'm blasting both of you. Yeah, so if you couldn't tell, Clawborg here is supposed to be a fusion of X-23, Laura Kinney Wolverine, and Cyborg. Alright, some of you might be wondering why I'm fusing these two characters in particular. Cyborg, that's obvious, right? He's like in the 03 series, he's in Titans Go, like Young Justice and all that. Laura Kinney, though, it's kind of a weird thing. Mainly it's because I'm trying to make these characters make sense within the overall lore, which will make sense once you figure out who I'm fusing James Logan Howlett Wolverine with. So stay tuned for that. Whenever I eventually get to doing the X Patrol video in 2037 or whatever, at the rate I'm going now. Again, apologies for taking so long, writer's block, it's getting real bad. I'm recording this part a month, 2.5 months after I finished the drawing of Clawborg. Yeah, so, again, sorry about that. Doing it now, though. And, yeah, design-wise is actually one of my favorites of this episode. I'm gonna be not gonna lie, but execution-wise, not so much. Design-wise, I love how it turned out with, her, X-23's, Jack and stuff from the original series with a few elements from Cyborg thrown in, the C on the the C logo that comics, modern comics Cyborg usually tends to have, and also with some elements from the 03 and Go series, but I made them yellow, her normal Wolverine outfit, and also Logan's Wolverine outfit, mix in, throw in some claws, but make it look more robotic. That's one of my favorite parts of this. Although, some, finer details, the lines are a little wobbly or a little asymmetrical. In particular, on her ankles, a little, I don't know what you call it, the little circle thing on her ankles. I noticed that, 2.5 months later, hindsight, but if you ignore that, sorry I pointed that out. But, besides from that, I love the rendering on the hair and stuff. The colors look amazing on this, in my opinion. Not to toot my own horn, but, just some smaller nitpicks. That's just art for you. You just kind of learn as you go. Just find out what you did wrong. Just don't beat yourself up for it, but, just kind of just look out for stuff you can, improve later. But, yeah, besides that, I think that's it. And here we have Clawborg. As the giant green woman bolted towards him, Nightbeast poofed behind her, transforming into a pronghorn and running away. She-Smash was faster, however, and she easily caught up to him before grabbing him by one of his hind legs and attempting to slam him into the ground. Before the impact, he bamfed behind her, turning into a kangaroo and kicking her in the back and disappearing again. He then charged at her as a rhinoceros before being grabbed by the horn and suplexed. Nightbeast then turned into a Tyrannosaurus and tried biting into She-Smash, but his jaws weren't strong enough. Nightbeast then wrapped around her as a boa constrictor before teleporting both of them as high as he could and dropping her. He then started chain teleporting away as fast as he could. When She-Smash landed, she began to follow him. The chase ended at a lake when Nightbeast transformed into a bull shark and bit Ginny on the ankle. He bit her again as a crate snake before chopping down a third time as a hippo and dragging both of them to the bottom of the lake. Ginny struggled but managed to break away. Nightbeast then turned into a cashlet and hit her with a sonic blast, appearing to finally knock her out. Upon getting closer, She-Smash gave him a gnarly headbutt, then grabbed him by the tail, drug him onto land, and pinned him. And 1, 2, 3, I win. Alright, now will you finally let me explain that I'm not this blue lady you're after? Nightbeast turned back into his normal form. I've believed you ever since you turned into whatever this is. Why were you still fighting me then? You turned into a raging green monster. I was fighting for my life. Oh, so this whole thing was kind of pointless then. Yeah. Well, at least it padded out the runtime. Zavat? Oh, don't worry about it. So if you're not Madame Blue, then that must mean she is with your friends in the Vid car. Who is this person anyway? She is a shapeshifter, a member of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. They are sworn enemies of the X-Patrol. I saw her turn into your friend at the truck stop, but I lost track of which one of you was which. Wait, you're part of the X-Patrol? That's who Falcon and I were looking for. This must mean the Brotherhood are trying to infiltrate X-Mana. We need to get there ASAP. Alright, then just teleport us there so we can warn Chief X. Simple. Not quite. That fight took a lot out of me. I don't have many more left in me at the moment. Alright, then you better turn into something that can hang on then. Alright, and again, sorry about the terrible accent. I can't afford voice actors at the moment. Sorry. But yeah, if you couldn't tell already, She-Smash here is a fusion of Kid Flash and She-Hulk. Alright, and the reason I went for Kid Flash for this fusion is because he's one of the original founding members, and I also didn't do Robin, because Falcon Girl's kind of like filling that position, And, obviously I had to fuse him with She-Hulk because I fused Barry Allen Flash with Bruce Banner Hulk, if you haven't seen my early videos. So, Barry Allen's nephew, Bruce Banner's cousin, so it's Barry. Yeah, what's the name I went with him? Barry Banner, I think. Yeah, Barry Banner's niece, Ginny West. Even though, She-Hulk's, not really a young Avenger, I think she's, supposed to be, around the same age as Hulk. I don't really know off the top of my head. But yeah, anyway. I thought it was, the obvious choice to do, and I'm happy with how it turned out. The art-wise, I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out, especially with the rendering. Costume though kind of looks like LA Lakers and the superhero, not gonna lie, but still though, pretty happy with how it turned out. I kind of had to go with these colors, because Kid Flash is like an inverse of regular Flash's color scheme, and so just purple and yellow to yellow and purple, and obviously I had to do the white stripe in the middle, like She-Hulk has, but instead of straight lines, had to go the zigzag lightning bolts that the Flashes have. As for the gloves and the shoes, I think I'm pretty much just took She-Hulk's design, but I just did the purple and gold over it. I tried doing them having me the opposite, with the, I don't know, what do you call it, man? It's that's folded back on itself, on her wrists and ankles. I don't know if it's because I'm tired or if I genuinely do not know the name of this thing, but yeah, how they're yellow on her arms and purple on her legs. Not 100% sure if that was a good idea or not. Be honest, I think it looks, fine enough. I like how the rendering turned out on it. I think I already said that. I'm kind of tired if I didn't mention that. Recording this at almost midnight. But anyway, rendering, it's one of my favorites of the video, although there's some parts where I went a little too sharp, I think. And also my favorite part of the design was a little blur behind her. I went back at the very end. Yeah, make it look like she's running fast. That was fun to do, fun effect to do. But yeah, overall, I say I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And here we have She-Smash. Clawborg and Falcon Girl were putting inhibitor cuffs on Madame Bleu. Alright, I'm glad it worked this time, but please don't hang my phone ever again, Falcon Girl said. No promises, Clawborg answered. A green blur then whooshed by them and doubled back. It was She-Hulk with a teal gecko on her shoulder. Nightbeast then turned into a cat and started throwing up into the side of the road. Falcon Girl, that other me is a... Oh, you got her. Hey, Jen, you look, different. What's with the cat? Oh, I see you meant Garf, Clawborg chimed in. Also, I'm Laura, by the way. Nightbeast appeared on top of the mirror car. No way, is this the real Captain Bat's mirror car? Well, it was, Falcon Girl said, looking at the shattered windshield and shredded hood. Don't worry, I can fix it once we get back to the X-Menor. Hey, Green Giant, can you give us a push while I steer? Once Madame Bleu woke up, she began cackling. Oh, you really believe that I am that predictable, trying to infiltrate your base for the umpteenth time? The vehicle then began to lift off the ground. Falcon Girl checked her rearview mirror to see some sort of evil-looking trash can. Oh no, Clawborg said. It's Magnabrain. Magnabrain then proceeded to pull Clawborg out of the vehicle before moving the inhibitor cuffs from Bleu onto Nightbeast and She-Smash, then disabling all of Falcon Girl's gadgets.
According to plan. Monsieur Sabre, would you please do us the honor?
What appeared to be a Sasquatch in a military uniform blasted She-Smash with some sort of weapon that began to siphon off of her connection to the Gamma Force. Magnabrain then began to merge the device with Clawborg's arms, and then the inhibitor cuff on Nightbeast's wrists.
Several months ago, in an attempt to master time travel, I discovered another realm, one with minds nearly on par with my own. I have been collaborating with them to create my ultimate weapon.
Monsieur Sabre then used a device to force Nightbeast to teleport in an apparatus with some sort of orange lady bound to it.
This being's alert absorption capabilities made her the perfect candidate to be molded into the key to interdimensional travel. Typically, her species would only gain flight and enhance healing from their son, but with a few modifications provided by my new acquaintances in the other dimension, she can now do so much more.
Bleu hooked up the device in Sabre's arms to the apparatus. Magnabrain uncuffed Nightbeast and transformed the weapon even further. The device created a small star-shaped portal at the muzzle, which began to shoot out mechanical one-eyed stars that latched onto Nightbeast, Falcon Girl, and She-Smash's faces. Magnabrain then unveiled an antenna that was concealed in the robot body and began to control the three of them.
With this power, the Brotherhood of Evil Metamutant shall take over the X-Patrol, and then the world.
The Orange Lady was not happy with her power being used this way, and her rage gave her enough strength to break free. I am Cory Chavez, Princess of the Parallel of Tamarin. I am nobody's weapon, she cried out. Magnabrain sicked the others after her. Nightbeast swooped in after her as an eagle, but Cory opened a small star-shaped portal in front of her hand that shot an energy blast at the metal star in his face, freeing him. She-Smash blitzed towards her, and Cory opened a portal in front of her and then reopened it onto the ground, causing She-Smash to faceplant and break the star. Falcon Girl attempted a sneak attack, but Cory broke the star in a single blow. Hey Miss Star, how about you help me get my limbs back next? The team then went after the Brotherhood, who would soon realize that they were no match for the young Titans. Alright, and there we have it, the fifth and final member of our team, Miss Star, and who, if you couldn't tell, is a combination of Starfire and America Chavez, also known as Miss America sometimes. A fun fact, she originally wasn't even going to be on the team. I was originally just going to leave it at 4 characters, but I felt like, that they were kind of missing a member. So I made a poll on Discord and listed off like 7 ideas of characters I had, and she ended up winning over all the other ones. So if you're someone who voted in that poll and watching this, congratulations. All right, and the reason I chose Starfire, obviously, one of the most iconic Teen Titans members. She's in the 03 series, she's in the comics, she's in like the DC AMU, the animated movies that had like Apocalypse War or whatever. I forget what it's called at the moment, and I don't feel like looking it up. But yeah, and also I choose America Chavez mostly because the fusion would be pretty good. One has star in their name and one has stars in their powers. And also, I think, Starfire is an alien from another planet, and America Chavez is like kind of like an alien from like another dimension, depending on the canon. I think they retconned that, but I think people didn't like that one, so I'm going with like the original continuity. I haven't read the comics, to be honest, but, also the design was really fun, especially fusing the 2 outfits, which, America Chavez, she has, like, the cool jacket and, like, the cool American jacket and, like, the star shirt, and then, like, Starfire has this cool outfit, which, looks kind of normal-ish at a distance, like a normal superhero outfit, but then it looks, once you notice, like, the details up close, you're just like, wait, this is kind of weird and alien. Yeah, she's got like some sort of like weird armor around her like neck and like gauntlets, and like is her belt actually made of metal, or yeah, so that was kind of fun to combine. Also the color schemes, because I also thought it'd be weird if she had like the American color scheme if she's from like an alien dimension. To be honest, when I was designing the art, I hadn't really designed like the lore and stuff yet, but I was originally going to make her like an alien from another planet, but yeah, I think it's fine. Maybe for her to mention that these are the colors of America, who knows. Also, I had really fun with the long hair that she had in like the 80s, 90s comics. I don't really know which one for sure. I should probably research these things more. But yeah, it was really fun to work with. You know, she has a kind of like a unique design with like the weird, kind of things at the front. I don't know what you call it. Also make it, looks really curly, like wavy hair, like Chavez has. Just it was really fun to combine. It was kind of easy, but still fun. Also, the glow around her stars was fun. Some of the glow is like behind, in front of her, but some of the glow is like behind her. I love doing effects like that. Even though there's like on one of the points of the star, there's like I feel like I didn't add enough, but oh well. All right, and here we have Miss Star. All right, and with that we have the first iteration of the Young Titans with Falcon Girl, Night Beast, Clawborg, She Smash, and Miss Star. Also, I'd like to thank all of you for your patience with my like basically non-existent upload schedule. Uh, yeah, I'm sorry. I promise the next video won't take 4 months to come out. So basically, I've just found like a better way to do things. So yeah, and also I've already got all the art done for the next video already. So I just got to do like the script, the recording, and all that. Yeah, so hopefully, yeah, again, not 4 months. Oh yeah, but anyway. Speaking of the next video, I'm not going to spoil what that one is, but the one after that, I'm finally going to do the Masters of Doom Part 2. So yeah, stick around for that. Feel free to give any constructive criticism or whatever about the stories. I'm kind of new to this, so let me know if there's anything I can do better or improve upon. I'm still learning. Also, for that matter, let me know if y'all like the story format, as a whole, or if you rather me go back to Origins, or if you like a mix of the two. I might leave that up to a poll. I'm not sure yet, though. So if you can guess who any of these characters I didn't draw are supposed to be fusions of, I'll be shouting you out in the next video. And with all that out of the way, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Make sure to comment if you have something to say, and subscribe if you want to see more. I've been DJ, and this is Drawing with DJ. Goodbye, and thank you for watching.